How are you?
I think
I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Very nice to see you all again.
My spiritual speculation thing here real quick.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait. Give Daryl the skit opening.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put it in the chat while you're going over that.
Thank you.
See if you can do your best.
James Garner.
Yeah, the villain of this.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. I see where it's at now. I wasn't sure what it was. I consider myself an even-tempered man. It takes a lot to get under my skin. But congratulations.
Commissioner Gordon, welcome.
You just won this. This is a solid gold episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Oh. That vibration almost sounded like someone yelling.
Oh my gosh, Paul. Okay. We'll talk about that. Okay, I found something that's worthwhile to talk about. Just leave. Go. So something to keep in mind, Daryl, is that I don't have any of my sound effects that I normally have. Hello, Ashley Ruiz. How are you doing? Oh, a long time no see. Let's see. Okay.
Full 30 seconds.
Right, exactly. What were the Pinocchios already? Jeez, I did nothing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You even have a heart above your head.
I do. Right there. Let's see. I think, hey, Dale. I think we're...
Hey, Dale.
You got those. I think we're good.
How are you?
Good.
Have you guys heard anything from our...
From Kevin? I have not, Paul. You?
No, but he's posted on Facebook a couple times today, so he's okay. He's up in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Didn't want to work. Yeah, well, it was slowing me down, Ashley. It was making it so that my face was out of sync with my audio. So, no worries, though.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
No.
So no sound effects for you, but Paul's got all of his.
Exactly.
That's right. I need a that's right response.
Yeah, why don't you have one, Paul? Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, Daryl. When I'm gonna count us off, then we're gonna. And by the way, everyone in chat, no sound effects. Sorry. Counts us off, and then you can do your James Garner. Then I'll go into the intro. Okay. Thumbs up if you're ready to go. Awesome.
All right, I suppose.
Is Paul reviewing Atlantis background? Everyone thinks it's Tron, but no, it is Atlantis.
Check out that screenshot from
Atlantis. From Tron Legacy now.
Tron,
right.
Yeah.
Hi, Stacy.
Oh, hey, Stacy.
And hello, everybody.
Everyone. Okay.
Let's
all right,
rock
guys.
and roll. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's go.
All right.
Paul, will you say a prayer over us real quick, please?
Okay. Lord, thank you so much for this day that you have made. May we all be thankful that we're listening and watching this for those who are watching. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Right.
I was like, that doesn't sound like anyone here. Who is that? Oh, where is that from?
Oh, a little movie called Monty Python and the Holy Grail, of course. Has to come up like every episode, you know.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3.
I consider myself an even-tempered man. It takes a lot to get under my skin. But congratulations. You just won this solid gold episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Okay, so then do the intro. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Atlantean Interrupter Powers.
Hey, let's go find Atlantis.
Sure, let's do it right now.
Yeah.
Also for this this journey to Atlantis and discussion of the film Atlantis: The Lost Empire, we welcome back aboard ship's entertainer Daryl Hafner. Hey, Daryl.
How's it going, Francisco? How's it going, Paul?
Hey.
Going quite well.
So far, so good.
Indeed. And we were going to have a second guest, but our thoughts and prayers are with him. He's, I think he got out of the eye of Hurricane Ian, because that was happening when we record this back in 2022. I know you're probably listening to this way in the future in 20XX, but we did record
20XX?
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully he's doing well. Now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Atlantis: The Lost Empire?
Oh, not Milo Returns.
No.
Oh, The Lost Empire. Okay. Sure.
The movie.
Lost Empire
that was released in 2001.
22nd, 1984. Runs an hour and 23 minutes. It runs and is rated R. It was written and directed by Jim Wynorski.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Oh.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Dang it. Hold
The
on.
colon, the grammar symbol. Not like someone's colon.
Oh, that's... thank you. I would have watched the wrong movie again. Hold on. Okay. Atlantis, space, The Lost Empire was released June 15th, 2001 and runs an hour and 35 minutes. This is the movie, not the video game, right?
Yes. The movie.
Okay, good.
It better be. I haven't played no game.
It's rated PG and is directed by Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise. It was written by Tab Murphy, Kirk Wise, and Gary Trousdale. They like to get their names in there. And with lead stars being Michael J. Fox, Jim Varney, and Corey Burton. And music was composed by James Newton Howard. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready. Daryl, are you?
Absolutely.
And everyone live here, you're welcome to join us in as well. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. Atlantis: The Lost Empire was made for about $90 million. Wow.
Oh, okay.
And it earned over $180 million at the box office.
Oh, through.
So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 2001? We'll go for the top 50.
Top 50. Okay, Daryl, what is your guess?
28.
28. My guess is going to be... I was gonna double that, but that would be 56. So we'll go with 48. 48.
Okay.
For me, in chat we have 45 from Ashley. Why are prices riding me, Ashley? 25 from Dale, 50 from Stacy. Paul, where did it end up in actuality?
According to thenumbers.com, it came in at 23. So Dale
23.
wins. Congratulations,
Wow.
Dale.
Good job, Dale. And Daryl was second closest with 28, but good job. Wow, that's awesome. Good job, Atlantis. And you know what? Maybe there's a reason that it did so well. Maybe it even has to do with some likes and dislikes. But we'll get into those later. I want to say thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we will get into once Alice has located our target film.
Did you say dissuction?
I guess we'll find out later in the edit. Okay, so then we do this, and I do have the video, so I will play that.
January 29th, the journey begins.
Make us proud, boys!
The mystery unfolds.
This is for real.
And the legend comes to life.
Welcome to Atlantis.
Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Own it on Disney DVD and video this Tuesday.
I don't really remember clamshell DVDs, but what things did we remember about Atlantis: The Lost Empire? Let's find out in our Memory Mind Meld synopsis. Dissuction. Marty McFly is an animated archaeologist named Milo who studies the ancient and lost civilization of Atlantis and gets a rich packer who believes everything he's doing. Stuart Little and ragtag crew journey to Atlantis and find them having amazing technology and a secret power source that keeps their city alive. A mole on Alex Pekin's ship steals something from Atlantis and it implodes. Yeah, that was
The end.
3 ways from Sunday wrong. So we were definitely decepted. Based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for the film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? I'm curious, everyone live here in chat, what did you guys say too? But Daryl, what was your prediction for Atlantis?
My prediction was nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Paul, how about you?
I saw this in the theater and enjoyed it, but I haven't seen it since. So not really much of a desire to see it, so I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic. I saw this in the theater too, but not since, and I didn't like it, so I predicted tragic.
That makes sense.
Who would have thunk it?
Hey, this was before my Disney hating times.
This is where it began.
React. Maybe.
The seeds were being watered at this point.
Oh my goodness. Then live here, Ashley predicted nostalgic, Dale nostalgic, D-Tungsten, spin me right round. That's not a rating, D-Tungsten. But okay. And that's what we have from live in chat. It'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into the things we liked most about Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Let's spin up our best.
Top.
All right, guys. Let's start with Daryl. What is one thing you really liked about Atlantis, the Lost Empire?
I'd say I'll call them the main crew. Just all their personalities and everything, and just you could tell I'll say the voice actors had a lot of fun just doing the characters and everything.
Yeah.
I love each individual personality, and not the fact that it's the mechanic was the lady, the doctor was this big, huge buff guy. So they didn't hit all the stereotypes. They tried to change it up a bit.
Yeah, and Milo wasn't at all a nerdy archaeologist. No way.
No. He was about the one stigma that you got, but
yeah.
But
that's awesome. You know what? I'm totally gonna be talking about the crew later, but I'm not. I'm gonna mum's the word right now. Let's go to Paul next. Did you like the crew, or was there some other element you enjoyed?
I enjoyed the ragtag Dirty Dozen bunch there. But something else I found that I enjoyed surprising was the music and the score. That
James
a lot of
Howard.
the dramatic moments was really emphasized, and I think it raised the level up a quality with the score, and I thought it really added to the movie.
Awesome. And totally fine if you want to save this for later, but I'm curious, did you feel like there was anything missing, there not being any vocal songs, that it was just score?
No, but what I did find missing was a memorable theme.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
I mean, good job,
James and Howard.
Yeah, James, but you forgot the essential hook.
Dun, dun, dun,
Exactly. Something that keeps coming back for more. But I thought the music really amplified this movie in a good way.
Very cool. Very cool. Something for me that really amplified this movie in a good way were the really beautiful backdrops. All the backgrounds in this were very vibrant and detailed. So I really found those to be really masterpieces. I feel like you could take any of those, and this was honestly similar to The Road to El Dorado. I feel like you could take so many of those background. I guess are they considered matte paintings when it's an animated movie?
But depends on the material used.
Okay, well, the background shots were just
you can say the background.
The backgrounds, yeah. So I really appreciated the attention to detail put into those. Hafner, what really caught your attention in this viewing of Atlantis?
I think something that was fun was just Mr. Whitmore.
Fraser's dad? Is that who that was? Yes.
Yeah. I think I might actually put Packer in there by mistake. It was meant to be the backer.
The backer. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay.
Voiced by John Mahoney.
Yes.
His whole personality, but it's just I'm doing this because I'm honoring your grandfather, and then even at the end where it's it's very clear they found something. He's just going along with it. You guys didn't get anything, but just he realizes it's better off if it's kept a secret.
Stays a secret. Absolutely. Yes.
That whole character, while a small part, it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. A character for me that I wouldn't say resonated with me, but I really appreciated was James Gardner as Rourke, the main villain. I thought he was a good villain because he had clear motives. It wasn't like he's just after profit. I get it. That's not hard to understand. But he wasn't maniacal about it. He's just like, oh, you're in my way. Well, you have to die. But if you'll play ball here, I don't see I need to hurt you.
What I thought his character was really well rounded and established and believable because even throughout most of the movie he plays a good guy, he's very like, okay, everybody, let's stay on mission, and he wasn't like mean about it. He was just very like, all right, calm down, let's stay focused, he was a very good leader.
Yes. He just had poor motives, but definitely a good leader. And I think you just said, he felt well-rounded because of that, and he wasn't just this one-dimensional or two-dimensional villain. He had some weight to him. So that's something else I liked. Paul, what was there a character you seemed to gravitate to, like me and Daryl, or was something else really interesting for you about this film?
Yeah, what was interesting to me was not only the background designs, but just like the electric blue patterns throughout it all. I think really enhanced those designs as well. So the imagery, not only the backgrounds, but even like the characters had some of the designs on their bodies and faces.
The tattoos or whatever.
Yeah. I was going to ask, do you guys suppose those were tattoos or face paint? I guess for Kita, she had the same markings from childhood to adulthood, so I imagine they were tattoos. I assume
it's tattoos because Milo gets some at the end too.
Oh that's right.
On his arm or whatever it was.
Yes.
And according to the behind the scenes, they referred to them as tattoos. So I don't know if they established that or they meant to say that, but that's what they called them. So we can call them that too.
Okay, cool. Very, very cool, guys. Well, then that just leaves our classic makers, the things we loved most about Atlantis, the Lost Empire. I'm going to just kick mine off because I feel like it's not that big of a deal. But it actually, I think it really impacts, brings a lot of weight to the movie. But we haven't really talked about Milo at all. The facial animations that the animators did for Michael J. Fox's character of Milo were just superb. There was just so much emotion in so many frames, especially when he's getting heated. Oh my God, it's almost like I was watching an actual live person. I felt like it was that good. How they modeled his frustration, his joy, all those elements. I thought it was really well done. So that was my classic maker, was the animation of Milo's face. Face! Daryl, I'm curious, what did you love the most about Atlantis?
I'd say probably just the comedy and the one-liners. Just like one, I think somebody had in the what do you guys remember that Paul does? Just like, hey, look, I made a bridge, and it just like the cheesy one-liners and stuff like that. Just they added a good amount of comedy. Like they didn't overdo it, but like when Kita's getting ready to jump in the water, she's like, pretty girl, pretty good. And just little things like that where it's just like, I would believe that would actually come. That makes sense. You just like,
yeah. A part that I got a chuckle out of was when Sweets, the doctor, is examining Milo for the first time, and he's just like boom, 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 boom. I thought that was fun. There's another element that made me chuckle, but I'm struggling to remember exactly what it was. But yeah, there are definitely comedic moments in this, and I don't know if they're necessarily more or less than other Disney films, but I feel like you certainly need something like that if you're going to forego like singing songs that are sung.
And it didn't all come from one person. Like they didn't have the funny guy.
Right.
Yes.
Although Mrs. Packard, the old lady,
Florence
Stanley.
Hold on, Marge.
She had several one-liners that I had to go, wait, let me
all
rewind that
gonna
and
die.
re-listen to what she said. She had some good ones that you have to like
Yes.
break it down. Okay, that's
I was totally getting Roz vibes from Monsters Inc. from her.
Yes.
I-
Now that you say that, I can. Yeah.
Are they the same actress by any chance, or am I completely? Is it just
I
coincidence that
couldn't
they
tell
sound?
you. I'm not
it's coincidence.
Coincidence. Okay.
Sorry, I'm looking that up right now.
No, that's
why I'm
fine.
Like,
Well,
she
while
did
you look
play in
that
a
up,
Goofy
Paul,
movie.
give us your classic maker. Dude, double duty here.
All right. I think she would have something to say about that line. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
I really enjoyed, and I think I forget what movie we talked about this, but I really enjoyed the voice performance of Michael J. Fox. His enthusiasm that he brought. It was good to hear him again. It's been a while. I know in the 90s he did a lot of voices like Stuart Little and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just good to revisit and hear him like, oh, it's like, oh, I remember this. And and I'll tell you what, John Mahoney, who did the backer, as you said, I loved what he brought to his character, just his voice quality. I wish that there was more of him in this because I really enjoyed the voice performance that he brought to this film.
Absolutely. All right, so we got voices, we got facial animations, we have humor. Awesome. There's so much. There are several things about this movie to like, apparently. And you know what? Forgot one more thing I liked. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, without fail, I can't seem to remember.
Every time.
The Untold Podcast. The Untold Podcast is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. Check out the Untold Podcast at www.untoldpodcast.com to listen and leave them a review on Apple Podcasts.
I'm sorry, I was zoning out because I don't see what that has to do with the Atlantis.
Okay, so Plato's document, he sort of apparently it's okay, Paul. You don't know a lot. You don't know. You're not like a Atlantis aficionado like me.
I just know.
But
Plato
apparently,
doesn't taste
I'm talking
as
here.
good as it looks.
I'm talking here.
Okay.
Atlantis, Master Interrupter.
Yes.
Atlantis. Plato's description of Atlantis ends like halfway through. Like if you go back and read his manuscript or wherever, apparently it ends halfway through and you don't get to finish how he talks about Atlantis. So the rest of the Atlantis story is untold.
Oh.
So that's the connection.
There you go.
Well, according to the movie, he said it disappeared overnight. So
yeah, but
what
I'm
more
talking
is
about
there to tell?
in the actual Atlantean manuscript, which I assume is right because it was mentioned in IMDb trivia.
Oh, great. That's a very loose tie-in.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly tied in. What you want? You want something more tied in, like trivia or something?
Yeah, let's talk more about trivia about this movie.
Oh, well, okay, I guess I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Did you all realize that early in the submarine's journey all the crew gets on this big submarine that looks a lot like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. At least that's the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
So early on in the submarine's journey, there's an order given. 15-degree down angle on the bow planes, come right 240. This is exactly the same order given in The Hunt for Ragtober from 1990 by Captain Borodon as Ragtober begins navigating the Red Route 1. And I actually went back and looked. It is exactly the same. I went to a clip from Ragtober. It's the same one.
I just thought all submarines said that.
Speaking of all submarines, my question to you is, what is your favorite submarine movie? So we'll start with Paul. What is your favorite?
Yellow Submarine.
That's not a movie. That's a music video.
Yes, it is. There's a movie called Yellow Submarines, animated by the Beatles.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
But that's not my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Now, what is the question? My favorite?
Yeah, just your favorite submarine movie.
Because some of my go-tos are 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, if you count that, or Hunt for Red October, a classic that we read. But if I had to pick one, it would honestly be Down Periscope. That is by far no way a better movie than any of the movies that I just named. But that is probably like if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch one, I'm going to enjoy that.
Wow. I can't disagree. Sideshow Bob at his peak for sure. Wow. Oh my goodness. No, John Mahoney isn't in that. I'd be like, that'd be too weird if Fraser's dad was also in that, but it's someone else.
Yeah.
Daryl, what is your favorite submarine movie?
So I'm trying to think. I remember Hunt for Red October a little bit. I'm trying to think. Was Denzel Washington? I know he's done a few war ones. Was he in a submarine one where he's like fighting over?
Yes,
like,
Crimson Tide, which is my personal favorite. Crimson Tide.
Right.
Cool.
I'm remembering parts from a few different ones.
Okay.
If you put them all together, it's a pretty cool movie.
Absolutely. So we'll take Sean Connery and put him on the ship with Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah.
That sounds amazing.
The Hunt for Crimson in October. It's perfect. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if I've ever
52
actually
DOS
sat and
boot.
watched either of them. Just sat down and watched them.
Okay.
But just like I've seen them on TV and stuff like that. So.
Awesome. Well, live here in chat, Dale says Hunt for October. D-Tungsten says Yellow Submarine is a movie. Okay, thank you, D-Tungsten. Critic, welcome Critic, says Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Is that what that's called?
That's an ensemble cast with
Bill Murray, I know, but
yeah.
But I think there is a submarine in there. Baba says
Steve Zissou. You're right.
Yeah.
Is the full.
Baba says Yellow Submarine. D-Tungsten says 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And then I think that is Dale says Operation Petticoat.
Yeah,
it's a close second. I haven't ever seen that. Okay, well, thank you all for your answers, and now let's get into things that weren't
taking my line. Dang it! Sorry.
So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone live in chat for your answers.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank
now
you,
that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about Atlantis, the Lost Empire.
All right. Drew Dodgen says, You have to stamp the debt.
I'm going to have to pause here. My dog's freaking out. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Chat amongst yourself. Hold on.
We shall. Submarine, more like want marine. Am I right? No, Bobo, you are not right. How dare you? Neko says, missed mine, but I'm sorry. What was yours, Neko? I'm sorry, I missed it. Yes, I'm trying to go quick, but I'm sorry, I missed yours. Zazu was a bird? I don't know, maybe.
Wait, Zazu from the Lion King.
Oh, from Lion King. Yeah. That's right. I think it's Zizu or something. Is the actual name, but.
And while we're paused, how's it going, Mike? Is good to see you in the chat.
Is that who Critic is?
Yeah, he's one of my coworkers. I told him about the podcast and everything.
Awesome. Well, glad you're here. Life Aquatic is still one of my favorite movies of all time, let alone just submarine based. Okay, cool. I've actually never seen it.
Me neither.
Well, I guess that tells you about our temperament.
But that was a good Moliere. I mean, Corey Burton's amazing. Like, he does the voice of Dale and so many other things. He's like a voice actor. They actually got a voice actor
for
Moliere.
The mole guy.
Yeah. So that was cool.
I mean, it's nice when they use voice actors instead of just named talent.
Oh, here's a celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah. They could be a voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm ready to go whenever you are. If you want to continue addressing chat. Sorry, chat.
Yeah, no worries. I enjoyed my day off, Critic. Got a few things done around the house. Got to sleep.
Sweet.
Nice.
Always good.
And I enjoyed In and Out today.
And if I'm a bit punchy, it's because I went to bed at 2 a.m. and got about 4 hours of sleep. So.
Let's get those punches up. Come on. Pump them up for the podcast.
Let's go.
All right.
Imagine a voice actor acting as a voice actor. I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Can you believe this?
That kind of thought could get you fired from studios.
All right, so I just did. You have the next one, Paul. The next Celeste.
Cool. Celeste Morris says, "Hey, look, I made a bridge. Sorry, it's more of a French. Oh, hey, look, I made a bridge.
Do you need me to take this one, Paul? Because I have
Sure,
an excellent
yes, please
Cajun
do.
accent. Hey, look, I made the bridge.
Not quite. I thought you meant you were going to take Wardell White's what he said.
Oh, I'll do that.
Okay.
One of the last VHSs I ever bought. Michael J. Fox, classic maker. James Garner, tragic maker. It felt like he was reading his lines other than performing. Really? Oh, okay. I didn't get that sense at all, but that's fair. Great effects, great movie overall.
Well, I can kind of see what he's saying. I mean, I enjoyed James Garner. He's a wonderful actor. I enjoy him in things, but his voice is very like kind of clear and is like this, but the style of the character looked older and more gruff. I'm surprised he didn't go for more of this, rather than, hey, I'm just James Garner, here's my voice. So I
did enjoy this one line, swinging back to the comedy real quick, about James Garner. Early on in the movie, he says I forget, they're talking about movies, and he says, I prefer Westerns myself. And he was Maverick in the Western Maverick, which is fun.
Matthew Crosby says, never seen it myself.
Thanks, Matthew. And then Dave Bobke says, never saw it. Oh, okay. But one of the characters looks like he's going to steal my Cookie Crisp. Cookie Crisp. Which character, though?
Moliere. If you look at him, he looks like a burglar. Like
could see that. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Thank you all for sharing your memories. And none of them, let's see what we wish was stolen from this movie. That's about as best segue as I can come up with for our dislike section. Let's spin them up.
Cookie Crisp.
All right, guys. Let's get into the things we didn't like about Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Paul, I'm going to kick it to you first.
We talked about this before about the style of 3D versus 2D.
Yeah,
I thought the combination didn't work for me, especially like in the vehicles. I thought it was kind of weird.
Yeah, it looks like they're not there really.
Yeah,
I think they worked better than past movies we covered, but still,
it's getting better. But what I thought, and this is just a personal thing for me, I thought really what worked really well is when the backgrounds were 3D, like moving, like they did that aerial 360 shot.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. I know some people don't even like that, but I do. I thought that was good. But a lot, especially at the beginning, like the opening scene with the flying things and the waves.
Yeah.
It felt choppy. It felt like a direct-to-video sequence, and I don't know if it's because they were still working with the technology with 3D and 2D. But I thought, am I putting on the sequel that's directed? I had to stop it and make sure I wasn't watching the direct-to-video because
I felt the same way. It looked like paper, almost cutouts.
Yeah,
were coming toward me or something. Yeah, it didn't quite. They didn't merge them well. Composite them. It's like the compositing of the 3D with the 2D just wasn't kind of for whatever reason.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that's what it was. Now that you're saying it, I can really see it.
Yeah.
I thought it was an animation style, but now that you're saying 2D and 3D, now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do see what you're talking about there.
Yeah,
it doesn't congeal well with the rest of the film, so it kind of takes you out a little. Yeah.
Daryl, what took you out of the film?
It was early on, and it almost sounds like Milo had been nagging at the museum a while. But I kind of thought it was kind of dirty the way they did him at the beginning. We're changing your meeting to 3:30.
Right?
Yeah.
After it's already
at 4 o'clock, and it's just like, so for them to basically not even hear him out.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I mean, it sounds like based on when he does find them, like maybe he's been on this thing forever and they're just tired of it. But it's like, dude, just hear him out. I mean, maybe he's actually got something to make it worth your while.
Yeah, totally. Though I did get the sense that he'd been trying to propose things to them a lot of the same ilk, and it's like no. So, but it's I get your point there. Just say no, we're not going to have a meeting with you instead of like canceling on him like that.
Canceling and not even canceling like the day before. It's like, no, we're gonna push it back to a time that's already happened, and just the way they handled it, it's like, really, guys? No.
Yeah.
Just no.
Ridiculous. Paul, what's something that was... actually, no. I'm going to go next.
Fine.
Something that was ridiculous
Steal
for me.
my time. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. So you know how I said the face of Milo is great?
Yes.
And this goes for all the characters, but Milo's the first one I saw it with. What is up with this choice to make trigonales? I hate trigonales. Stop it with making the nails triangles. Oh, it annoyed me so
Style
much.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that style choice.
All
I
right.
guess I didn't even notice it.
Here, let me find a screenshot.
It's like brick fingers, like squared off
Yes!
rectangles,
With-
and then the triangle nails on all the
Oh yeah,
characters.
no, I don't
so
have you at
annoying.
all, but I definitely did not look, I guess, close enough at their hands to notice
Stylized.
that.
It was animated well, like it flowed and moved well.
Yes, but okay. Here's a great shot. Of him. This is in the cave, but let me bring this up. It's just like I'm not really sure why this bothers me as much as it does. It doesn't really make a lot of sense why it would, but it just gets under my skin for whatever reason. Okay, here it is.
It's
And I
kinda
know
like the pieces of the nails are under their skin, so you can't
maybe
see the
that's
rest.
what it is. Or I actually, honestly, I think part of it is just it feels like it's lazy. Like we don't want to take the time to animate curves. We're just gonna have.
You can't blow that up because I can barely see that.
Let's see if I can.
I can see what you're talking about there.
There we go.
Did that help? Oh, sorry.
You-
Bring it
you
down.
overdid.
There.
Yeah, there
it
you go.
is, right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
sure
I see
that's.
what I see what you're talking about. I didn't care enough to. I didn't notice it, so it didn't bug me.
It almost looks like reverse claws to me. I think that's
Yeah.
what's bothering me. Like they're not claws because they're humans, but it looks like it's kind of like claws. Yeah. So I think that's what my issue is. Anyway, I know that's again, it's a tiny thing. That's my first dislike, but yeah, that bothered me that was a constant thing for all the characters. Let's go to Daryl again. What was something else you didn't like? Was it the nails?
No, I'll be honest.
okay.
I didn't even notice the nails so much, but I don't know. I guess especially in the latter half, just what was it? The captain's attitude, like
Rourke, the bad
Rourke,
guy,
right? Yeah. All of a sudden, I was blanking on his name. It's just like
No worries.
as like one of the other likes I had if people took some of my other ones was like the crew's change in heart when they realize this is actually going to affect people. Like the one guy is like, yeah, we've done some crap things in the past, but nobody got hurt.
At least no one we knew about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the captain's attitude, like, I don't care. I'll kill an entire civilization to make a few bucks. And I'm just like, I mean, maybe obviously that's his character. What would that be? Or psychopathic or narcissistic or something?
Sociopathic, I think, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, but I forget that's clearly not my.
It's called the
study.
United States government wiping out the Native Americans. I mean,
And I'm sure there's all
Avatar.
kinds,
I mean,
there's all kinds of parallels and stuff, but and obviously it's his character, but it's just like no sympathy at all, really.
Yeah.
But
I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, it's like he's not outright killing them. He's like, well, I'm not like putting a gun to their heads and pulling the trigger. I'm just letting them die because I'm taking away their power source.
well,
It's
and
kinda like
honestly,
that.
no one had ever done that, so he didn't know that it would actually kill the
Yeah,
people.
and apparently
destroy
their
the
crystals were still working, even though Kita and the crystal left. So maybe they were fine. But it did stop the water flow, so I think they would eventually
island. Yeah,
start.
but they didn't know that would stop the water flow.
That's true. Good point.
yeah,
But yeah, that it is super heartless, Daryl, and just to see someone like that, at least at first you're like kind of liking, how they are.
I mean, he was the strict soldier captain, like just the guy in charge, and that's one thing. But to be like, yeah, I really don't care about any of you, and then he chucks his right hand woman off the ship because he's just like, More from me.
Yeah,
Later.
that seemed like real. I think that really. I think that's almost the push you need to want to see him die. Before that, I feel like you just maybe wanted to see him captured, but they probably didn't want to go through that. So it's easier to write he died and by becoming some crystal guy. But you need.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think
you
you
needed
needed
that little extra push and the fact that he's like, you stood
he
by
cares
me
about
the
no
whole
one.
time and everything.
Yeah.
You're
exactly.
willing to take this thing with me still when everybody else ditched me.
Yeah,
Later.
Exactly. I hope that character,
Audrey.
I thought her name was Helga.
Helga. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Audrey is the mechanic. Sorry.
Yeah. I hope that Harrison Ford caught her hand and could bring her back up.
Oh, that's Elsa.
Oh, my bad.
He
bad.
He needs to let Elsa go.
Whatever. Paul, what do you wish was let go of this film?
Helga, when we first see her. No, not her.
Oh, okay.
But when we are first introduced to Helga's character, it's in a dark room, and she's like this blonde femme fatale, and this jazz music comes in like it's an old noir film, and the jazz music is so strikingly against the rest of the score of the film.
Yeah.
It just completely takes it out. It feels cheesy. It's done, it's not a subtle. If they had done like a light jazz motif over the score, the current score, kind of like hinting at it, I was like, okay, I could see. I see what they're getting, but it's like in your ear, like we are doing this jazz music here. Remember this noir style? It completely takes you out of the film. It's like,
and I mean, if that's where the film was going to go in that direction, then that's fine.
Right,
but...
and it didn't. It was just a moment, like kind of gag that's not funny, and it just unnecessary and takes you out. So
I think it was
striking.
Go ahead,
in a bad way.
I was going to say, and it was so opposite of her character in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that was another thing. I was expecting her to like, oh, this is someone like this, but no, she's a military woman.
Yeah, she's military type, and like that opening scene, I was getting what is it, like Jessica Rabbit, whatever? Just
I could
like
see
that like style,
because she has a theme that's jazz. They do that on purpose.
The jazz, the super slinky tight dress, and just like the way they had her. I'll say manhandling Milo at the beginning, just like super. I definitely can agree with that, Paul.
So I'm going to push back a little bit, guys, because I feel like I got more like spy vibes, which you'd probably have some military training and hell. So I feel like it's not a complete dichotomy or
it's not a complete, but it's also I agree with Daryl. It's not a like. I agree with both of you. She does have that spy vibe.
Yeah.
But also it's very different from the rest of the film. Like her character.
Oh, I agree with you there. Yes. Also, just a little add-on note. I wonder if it would have worked better for you, Paul, if like when Milo's going home, he passes by a jazz club, and so you hear the jazz loud, and then it's just more subtle as he gets into his apartment, like he's next to a jazz club.
If you want to make it make sense like that, that's fine. But
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying. I wonder if that would have helped you buy it more, maybe, instead of this is out of place.
Exactly, very out of place.
Yeah. So for me, okay. So I'm gonna just give you a bonus one because these are both sort of slight. These are like ones that just don't make sense. I'm putting this in the category of like this doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's
and here are two examples that doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Okay,
where is Atlantis' light source coming from? The crystal is buried, we find out. So where are they getting light?
And why is it bright as the sun?
Right?
That's fair. I didn't even think of it, but yeah, no, that's fair.
And all the water just flows from the top mountain. From where? I mean,
right.
I'll give you magic from the crystals from that. But yeah, well, like I said, I'll give you magic from the crystals for that. But there should be no light. So... that part's I'm like, what? So that didn't make sense to me. Also, it didn't make at all sense to me why. And I understand you would have to establish another character for this. I don't care. Do it. Because it doesn't make sense to me why the king would entrust Milo with the crystal to go find his daughter instead of like another Atlantean, maybe a warrior or someone else that's like a trusted like person that he has been with for a long time. No, this stranger. Oh yeah, you go save my daughter. Where does this come from?
Or have 3 seconds of where the king sees Milo take the crystal and start the engine. So like, this guy
knows what he's
crystal.
doing. Yeah, sure. What were you gonna say, Daryl?
I thought he trusted him just because, like, when he first came in, like he could tell Milo was there, for lack of a better term, for the right reasons. He could see like his enthusiasm. He really he loved the culture. He loved Atlantis.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to trust you because I know you want to save my people. And you're in the room right now. So it's like, I trust you with it.
The king has no guards, no second person, no
I guess
third person
not,
if his daughter is gone to say, hey, I entrust the kingdom to you.
Yeah, I was getting my daughter clear. You clearly care about my daughter. You care about my people.
Yeah.
Go save them both. You're here right now.
Yeah, apparently there's only 30 people on the island, and you're the closest one by far. So here.
Okay. All right.
That's
I
about the only
guess
thing
I'll take that.
But
yeah. I just think it would have been more. That it would have been more kingly, more responsible of a king to entrust it to someone that he knows rather than outsider. Especially since he is so against outsiders to begin with. But
agreed.
But now it's time to get into the things that are way outside the bounds of what would have made for a good movie. In our opinion, our tragic makers. I'm gonna go last. Let's start with Daryl.
To me, the thing that kind of was most unbelievable, I'll say for me, was actually at the end where I'll say the crew had these planes that could be like shot off the back of a truck. I'm like, I get the Atlantean ships, I get the trucks, I get everything else. One, where did these planes come from? Because you never saw them in the caravan. And then to be launching these single-man planes like a slingshot off the back of a truck, I'm just like, no.
I'm sorry, no.
There's a level. I understand there's a level of disbelief in some things, but that was those planes to me was just like, no, that's too much.
Totally.
You need a sky battle, fine, I get it, but like, I thought those planes to be able to do that, I'm just like, no, that's a little too much disbelief. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it would have been cooler, I guess, if... Never mind. I was going to do a Francisco Chavez fan fiction, but I already have one of those lined up. So I'm not going to do another one right now. But I totally agree with you, Daryl. Paul, I'm just curious whether or not that was your tragic maker as well. Did that take you out, or did you believe that? Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. Suspension of disbelief. I can say, okay, I don't know where the source of light is coming from, but I can suspend.
Right. Sure.
The planes, I can suspend that's fine. Okay. These giant building-sized robotic, creatures I can suspend. That's fine. Even these taller statues, fine. That you make bridges out of by blowing up, fine. Okay, these Atlanteans who've never been to the surface can speak 30 languages. Fine. I believe that.
Even that. Okay. All right.
But the fact that they can't read their own language, nobody's passing down to their kids how to read, and all their problems of this movie, the way they set it up, would be solved if they learned how to read their own language. Yeah. They can do all these things, but they can't read their own language, even though they're the master of languages that have evolved over thousands of years. Like English is not English. It's not even been there, let alone French.
Yeah.
So, but they can speak it, but they can't read Atlantean. It's just too far for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
We can read and write everything but our own language.
Yeah.
I guess the only pushback I'll give to that is that I think there is an element of, especially like in oral cultures, that was something where I don't know about speaking lots of languages, but you could retain a lot of information just through the oral tradition, as opposed to.
Here's an oral tradition. Put the crystal in the motorcycle, turn it, put your hand on it.
Yeah.
Try.
You know what? That's a good point. If they want to go down this route of we keep our things alive through oral traditions since we can't read, then there needs to be a lot more like carrying on in that, and they don't do that. So never mind. Good point, Paul.
It doesn't.
A bridge too far. People need to learn how to read. Hear that, kids? Learn how to read.
There you go.
Yes. All right, guys. Not quite time for the moment of truth, but here's my tragic maker.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, I hate that. I mean, that goes without saying. But that this ensemble cast of characters that come around Milo, you got the Dr. Sweets, you got the mole guy, you got the explosives guy, you got the mechanic girl, you even have Helga and Rourke, all of them. The whole main crew, not all the soldier guys, gas masks that we don't know who they are. And I'm not talking about those guys, but the named crew that are going on these missions. I hate that their whole stories were all told, none of it shown, and they're trying to create, even with Milo, they're trying to create all this emotion for them. Like they're explaining their backstories, but I have no investment in them as characters. And I'm thinking to movies that like okay, Milo is like, you could say, is the type of Indiana Jones character. So I thought back, okay, in the Indiana Jones movies, how do they set up Indiana Jones in a way that, because this movie has lots of trappings of things I would like, that like the people come together, each of them has a certain specialty that's cool, and they're all gonna come together for this mission. I like that. So, but I'm like bored out of my gourd watching the first like 30 minutes of this movie. And so I'm like, so what is the difference? And I reflect, okay, Indiana Jones, you got Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's in jungle, danger, all these traps. Okay, is he going to survive? Oh my gosh. And then Temple of Doom, that starts off a little rockier. But then you get like, oh, he's poisoned. Oh crap, how is he going to have this? Last Crusade. Oh, he's trying to save this. He's trying to get this cross, get away from the bad guys. Let's see if he can do it. I mean, there's this almost a very quick adventure component of like, not only is he saving a cat in a way, but he's also trying to get away from danger, which is very like grips me.
So this just didn't grip you soon enough to pull you in.
Well, yeah, like Milo starts with you get the Atlantis is destroyed. Okay, that was cool. That was like, oh my gosh, that's tragic.
So that helps you build.
That's world building. That's world building.
And it makes you care about the characters once you meet them, like Kida.
Which is like way far into the movie.
Sure.
But Milo, we start with this like, he's just talking to fake guys, and it's emotional because he wants to be like his grandpa. Great. Right. Then we finally get to
and people pick on him. They won't give him the meeting, even though he has.
And so, but there's no like him saving the cat moment. I mean, that would have been nice if there was something like that. And then we get to the crew, and they're talking about the girl. Her dad wanted her to be a boy, but she's still being an engineer, and her sister's boxer. The guy wants a flower shop. All these things. They're just telling us these things, and even when they initially introduce them, they're like, this guy does this, this guy does this, this guy does this. I'm thinking, okay, what movies do this much better? I'm thinking Ocean's 11, where you actually see these characters in their element doing their thing. Instead of telling me what they do, you show, and there's the perfect set for this. Just show these characters, like maybe even after that first, the Atlantean explosion. Well, hold on.
He laid out the folders, whatever,
Yeah. Sorry. When Preston Whitmore, the backer, he's like, here's this team, like the best of the best.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
that
I don't
starts
care
off
about this team because I don't know about them.
Yeah.
Like,
So here's what you do as you lay that out. They went on this mission to get this book, and then we go to a whole sequence. This is, for instance, fabulous fan fiction is fabulous, by the way. You go this whole sequence where you're actually seeing these characters do their jobs to get that book, that the Shepherd's book or Shepherd's Crook book
Shepherd's
thing.
Journal.
Shepherd's Journal, yeah. So because they had to go to Iceland to get it, they apparently got it, and that's how they go on this Atlantean mission. I don't think it has to be long. You could do like that in 5 minutes. This whole like
less than that.
Less
You
than
do it
that.
5 seconds per character, and
And each character could have a little bit of like, oh, this is how this person is good. This is
Right.
this is the relationship that like Moliere and the demolition guy have, and you set that up.
Right.
Oh, Sweets and whoever. I mean, you could do so much storytelling just visually with and have stakes for these characters. Oh, what's going to happen? I don't know if these characters survive to get this book. I know they get the book, but I feel like that would have been so much more dynamic, so much more interesting. I don't know how to set up Milo to be more interesting. I couldn't really imagine what you could do there, but I think I'm sure you could have done it. I'm sure you could have done it. Storytellers have done it in time in memoriam. So that's my Tragedy Maker, that they bored me to death with telling me about these characters instead of showing me what they could do.
I have a bonus question for you.
Okay.
In watching the behind the scenes,
Yeah.
the Disney.
I didn't watch the behind the scenes. There's your answer.
No, and I assume most of the listeners haven't either, so I'm building this up. They had done fairy tale movies, and they were saying, well, we have Disneyland, and basically lately all their movies have belong in Fantasyland, but they also have this land called Adventureland.
Yes.
Like let's like a move. They've done in the past. Walt Disney did action adventure movies like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and Swiss Family Robinson, and such. So let's make an animated adventure movie next. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, what adventure movies do we like? Well, we like those. We like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So let's make a movie like that.
Yes.
But to me, this movie, it does have action adventure, but it doesn't live up to like Raiders, for example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm curious, and I don't know what it is, and it escapes me, but maybe you know why. What is missing from this film that would make this on par of like, hey, when people list off action adventure movies, they don't list this off. What is missing? Because it has a lot of explosions. It has some chase scenes.
So I think, well, Gerald, do you have an answer? I have a thought, but Gerald, do you have any sense of what could help with that?
I don't know. I think, I mean, it's kind of hard, I guess. I mean, there was no real defined, like, you kind of knew that the crew had an idea. They were looking for this power source, and Milo just wanted to find it for scientific reasons. But I guess the stakes, I'll say, the high stakes came in too late.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree with that assessment for sure. Yeah.
So, like, if like, maybe we got a taste of, what is it, Rollins? I can never remember his name.
Rourke?
Captain Rourke.
Rourke, yeah.
If we got a
Maverick.
a little behind the scenes, for lack of a better term, of his true character or personality a little sooner, so that we're like, oh, when is he going to double cross? Or
yeah, that'd be
like,
interesting. Yeah,
like give us, like, don't drop it for Milo or anything like that, where he's but just give us a little sneak peek of
That's interesting because Indiana Jones always knew the Nazis were bad.
right, yeah.
Interesting.
So just like maybe give us an idea of maybe he's not completely on the up and up, or like maybe.
Yeah.
So actually, here's an idea for like one of your fan fictions is like Milo talks about how he thinks a page is missing.
Yes.
Right. Maybe there's like a little scene where he's talking to Helga, and he has the page on the table.
Oh yeah, just that's it doesn't give a lot of focus, but that you could like go back rewatching it and see, That's he was going to back someone because he has the page.
Oh,
Just
that
something
would
like
be
yeah.
interesting. Little Easter eggs that if you go
Yes.
to the rewatch, that's
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So I think it may be something like that, just kind of
Mhm.
make it a little more high stakes a little sooner. Because
Yeah.
it was like over half or 2/3 of the way through the movie
Mhm.
before there was any high stakes. Yes, you had like, I'll call it the Kraken, or there was more of a
Yeah.
crab. Like you had like scenes
Scenes of
But-
high stakes, but
scenes
not
of high
like a
stakes.
through line of it. Yeah.
Right. So maybe something like that.
Yep. I think those are great suggestions, Daryl. Some things that I would suggest, I guess, is I think this is almost like an adventure movie that becomes a heist movie that becomes a rescue movie. It's like it's trying to do too many
interesting.
things at once.
Okay.
Like with a heist movie, you want an ensemble because you need lots of people to do the job. With an adventure movie, you just need one or two, like one main person and maybe one or two sidekicks to like get in, try and get your fortune and glory. You don't need a bunch of people. You need a main character, a love interest, a sidekick. You're good, and then danger. You just do that, and
Hold
then
on
a
to your
rescue.
potatoes.
A rescue movie, I think what you could do is you could have, you sort of have a sense of like Gerald was saying, Rourke is the bad guy. So there's this like, when is he going to turn bad? Also, I mean, they could have easily run in like Milo finds in the Shepherd's journal that someone says that by this year, Atlantis will be destroyed. Like, and so it's like, and he computes it. Wait, that's in like a month or something. We got to go.
Oh, so a ticking
and so there's
clock.
a ticking clock. Yeah. To we got to find Atlantis. We got to save it, or else it's gonna be destroyed. And then what turns out to happen is that they bring on the destruction because it's like a prophecy, and it's
they
actually
fulfill their
Rourke. That's
destiny.
yeah, exactly. I mean that's a little tropey or trite, but I think it'd still be more interesting than what they ended up doing.
Okay.
So that's
Those are
how.
all good answers.
For you, Paul? You said you didn't really know.
Yeah,
so.
well, the only thing that I could think of is that Indiana Jones, the first one, and the first Star Wars, A New Hope, seems to be like little, and George Lucas did this on purpose with Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like serials. It's like little chapters.
Yeah,
and each one has like its own little like
climax
cliffhanger climax. Yes.
Yeah.
But it gets bigger and bigger along the way, and there's one main goal. So I think it's missing those. But I was about to say, but it's hard with this. I mean, this does feel serialized in some ways because there's like, the cave exploration, but it doesn't. The momentum doesn't build, like you said. Like it gets big at the end rather than there's something missing in the building of it. Maybe I don't know, but I think if we combine all ours together, that would be epic.
Exactly. We'll call it Atlantis, the retro empire. That's what we call it. Yes. Anyway, guys, now that we've entered our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, you have a firing solution for us. Salvo authority. Okay. All right, guys, time for the moment of truth. Do we rate
Ready
Atlantis?
for my salvo authority.
Atlantis, the Lost Empire, a classic. We'd recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not you've seen it before. A nostalgic, if you enjoyed it as a kid or young adult, it'd be worth to rewatch again. Still be enjoyable for you. But if you've never seen it before, skip this one. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's worth no one's time today. If you have fond memories of this movie, don't sully them with a rewatch. And if you've never seen it before, just keep it that way. So we'll start with our guest, Daryl. What is your final rating for Atlantis, the Lost Empire? You had predicted nostalgic. Where did it end up for you?
It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard because I could imagine me sitting down with my niece who just turned 7 and watching it with her. I think maybe I don't know if she could sit through all of it, like right now because she's 7.
Yeah, my son has a hard time sitting through long movies. It's just he just can't do it.
I actually really enjoyed the rewatch, so it's just
nice.
So I'd say like a low end classic. Like it's not like you gotta see it, but I enjoyed it. So like
very cool. Yay. Okay.
So I think
classic from Joe.
I was actually moved it up from
nice. Yes.
where it was. So
So, Paul, you had also predicted nostalgic. Did it move up for you like Daryl, or down, or stay the same?
Yeah, and I just flung a lot of poo at this movie in the last few minutes. But despite that, I still think it's a fun adventure movie that I would recommend anybody. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. So it's a classic for me. Again,
Classic for
I agree
you.
with Daryl. It's on the low end. You don't have to run out and see it like right now. What are you doing? You got to see this. It's not a gotta see. But I definitely recommend it to anybody. If like, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, a
For
lot of
me,
people
guys.
say- Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. For me, I had predicted tragic,
Yeah.
and I gotta say, watching this movie again, I'm sticking with tragic. And it's not like the lowest of low tragics or anything, but I have no interest to see this movie again. Yeah. I feel like just the movie we talked about, the potential. There's so much potential in this movie that's hard for me. It hurts. It hurts to watch it. It could have been. I think it could have been this really great adventure movie.
Yeah.
I'd be curious. Oh, go ahead.
We can't have fabulous fan fiction about movies because it just ruins it. I mean, we did that with Bill and Ted 3. We did that with what else did we do that with the Ready Player One?
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. This is one of those movies that a lot of people say is one underrated.
Yeah.
Overall. But the other thing is this is one of those ones that they'd love for Disney to redo as a live action, and they could make these.
I think this would be interesting as a live action if they implement all our ideas.
Right, like if they made some tweaks, I think this one could be like really cool live action.
I agree.
Okay, well let's do a quick casting. Who would you guys? We'll just do like 3 of the characters. So who would you cast as Milo in this?
So as of today,
yeah, I know it's hard to say because I don't know a lot of like current characters. I'm thinking maybe Tom Holland. He's like
That's
hot right now.
exactly who came to mind for me, but I feel like he's a little young.
No, he's not. You know what's weird? In the behind the scenes, they were saying that Audrey, the mechanic, was she's a teenager, was around the same age as Milo was supposed to be. Like,
really?
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, I did not get that at all.
Yeah.
No,
I got that she's supposed to be really young, but okay.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be a teenager, and he's supposed to be close in age. So what is that?
Okay.
I didn't get that. But anyway, yeah, Tom Holland came to my mind, but he's not like skinny enough.
Okay, that's fair.
But but he's the one that fits the bill. And I was about to say, unfortunately, Tom Holland, I think is doing a great job as what he's doing. So that's why I would cast him.
It's funny we all had the same actor pop into our head though.
Yes, maybe Daniel Radcliffe. I guess could, but I can't think of anyone else. Okay, so that's Milo. How about Kita? Who do you think would be a good Kita?
I'm gonna blank on her actual name, but she was in Star Trek and then Avatar.
Oh, and in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Zoe Saldana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think she's a little old.
Yeah.
At this point, but
to play against our Tom Holland, I agree. But I think she
just de-age her.
Yeah.
But
plus, I mean, she's supposed to be like 1,000 or something years old anyway.
That's
so
true,
yeah,
8,800 or something. Like
that. Yeah.
But no, I think I could see her in that role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Let's see. And how about Rourke? Who would play the bad Rourke?
Yeah, Ashley said Zendaya, and I thought about that with Tom Holland.
Okay,
I'm like, that's a little too.
Who is that? I don't think I know.
Zendaya. She's MJ in the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, the girl.
Oh, I haven't seen him.
She plays in Dune anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
And she's dating Tom Holland in real life.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So who'd you? I'm sorry. Did you say a third character?
Yeah, Rourke, the main bad guy.
You know who
James Gardner in real life would have been cool.
I think he's dead now, though. Didn't he die?
I thought we were doing all past. Okay.
No.
If we were to do it currently.
Yeah,
might be able to pull it off would be like The Rock.
Oh wait. Oh, The Rock. That'd be interesting.
Interesting.
Playing against type a little bit, but Yeah, I
And
can see that.
I'd hate to see Harrison Ford be the bad guy, but he's old enough
Oh, that would be interesting. I would like that. Dale also I think this is great, for Milo, Zolo Marduena from Cobra Kai, who plays Miguel. I think that would be a good Milo, too.
Okay. Yeah.
I honestly think he might be a little short. I don't really have a great sense of how tall he is. He's probably taller than me. I can't talk, but.
I'm seeing Dale's Tommy Lee Jones. That's actually, I could see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
for your Rourke, yeah.
Rourke, yeah.
Yeah. Those are good suggestions, Dale. Yeah, I like Harrison Ford though. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. On the Schwarzenegger. Get those fireflies out! Cookie! Butter my biscuits! Get the bibs out, Cookie! Do it now!
Wow.
No, I thought that fire scene was actually one of the funny moments with Rourke, where he's just like, "I'm gonna kick Milo's butt." Oh crap! The place is on fire right now.
Yes, exactly. Are you rated for this type of vehicle, Milo? Can you drive a truck? Okay, enough with my bad Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, well, according to the Retro Rewind podcast, where are we again? Found Rain. We rate Atlantis, The Lost Empire, a disputed classic movie. Recommend anyone go see this, whether or not you've seen it before. But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX?
Feels good to be
Are
back.
you okay? Oh, you're stretching. Sorry. I thought maybe you broke your back.
So don't look at my pits. Feels good to be back. Wouldn't have been able to get back to 2001 to begin with, or travel back to 2001. Oh, what? Paul's got a flash
Who's
of
that
inspiration.
actor that plays in the Bates TV show? Sorry.
Vince Vaughn? No, I don't know.
No, that
No.
Hotel Bates or whatever.
Yeah, what Norman Bates. He plays anyway, he might be too old, but I thought he'd be a good Milo. He might be too old. Freddie Highmore. Anyway. Google
I
him.
don't know. But anyway,
Sorry, Freddie, we're talking about you in 20XX. Anyway,
Yes.
moving on.
moving on. We wouldn't have been able to get back to 2001 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keane, Patrick Hicks, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Canston, Drew of the Cellcash, Ashley Ruiz, Patrick Dewson, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Babo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten, Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Daberman Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner. Oh, he's right here!
Hey.
Rosie, in addition to 7 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you would want to help us keep flying for as low as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thinking people, we want to give a big adventurous hug to Daryl Hafner for supporting us with his thoughts about Atlantis, the Lost Empire tonight. Daryl, where can people find you online, or is there anything cool you got going on?
Online, you can just find me on Facebook. I don't have anything particular going myself right now. The theater's doing a few things. Actually, they've got a lot going on in October. They got a show. They got they're gonna do like a masquerade dance, and then they're gonna turn the theater into like a haunted maze type thing.
Is it Phantom of the Opera masquerade?
No, they actually did. We did Phantom of the Opera last year.
Oh, okay.
They didn't do a dance, just they did the play last year. But no, I think it's gonna be more the play they're doing is called The Island of Dr. Monroe, and apparently.
Oh yeah, Moreau, or is it different? Like, is a riff on it? Is it Monroe?
No, it's based off the old movie. It's an original.
Yeah, okay.
It's an original script. Like
okay,
somebody at our
interesting.
theater wrote it.
Val Kilmer wrote it.
No, his name is Brian Spain. But
Val Kilmer was in The Island of Dr. Moreau. That's what I was going to say.
But I've not actually seen it, so I have no idea.
You're not missing much.
But I think it's going to be themed more like that.
Oh,
but
cool.
I don't
Okay.
know for sure. But no, me personally, I'm not in anything. right now, so
That's good.
I
That also
don't
means
have
you're not in
anything
trouble.
Yeah. No, next round of auditions will be in November, so I might audition for something in the January, February, March, April block.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
Very, very cool, Daryl. Well, thank you again so much for coming back to the show, discussing Atlantis with us. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Paul, for being an awesome friend, awesome Atlantean. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to say that. And thank you, Rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at pauljpowers.com.
Oh, okay. And you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
Insert culture box bumper here.
Exactly.
And as Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. And with that, Captain, we are on final approach to base, where hopefully they have not taken our power crystal.
I hope not, XO. But thank you, and thank you all for listening. And we pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Ghostbusters 2. Da-na-na-na-na. Our next episode of the Retro Rewind Podcast.
Oh, that's cool, because, you know, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Or sequel, maybe. We'll see.
Or slime.
All right. So I'll play that, and then I'll play this.
Can we go home now?
Not quite, because there was a young girl on that ship that's a mechanic.
Yeah.
There's something very familiar about all this.
Oh!
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me.
Thank you. Yes, it is now another episode in our installment of covering Firefly as we drink to our Christmas episode covering the movie Serenity. What episode are we covering this time, Paul?
Edna Mode.
Oh, the Edna Mode episode. That's great.
Yeah. The one with the Incredibles in it.
Oh,
War Zones or War Stories or something like that.
War Stories, yeah.
All right. This time we're reviewing episode number 10 titled War Stories. It first debuted December 6th, 2002, almost 20 years ago exactly.
Wow, very cool.
So do you want to try to give us a one-sentence synopsis of that episode, Captain?
Yes. Wash and Mal are captured when they're trying to take medical supplies to sell. They're captured by Niska, who was from the semi-pilot episode Training Job. They're captured, tortured, and the crew has to get them back.
I love my captain.
That's nice, Kaylee. But yeah, let's go around, guys. Say one thing we really liked about this episode of War Stories. I'm going to start with Paul this time.
Okay. The torture scene of Mal and Wash while they're being tortured.
Oh, yeah.
As horrific as that torture is, it still got me to laff. And that's hard to do. So I thought that was really well done, that scene.
Yes. And it didn't feel like, oh, this is just pretend. I mean, it really seems like they're hurting.
They sold that scene from every angle. So that was really well done.
Yeah. Awesome. So that scene. Daryl, what did you really enjoy about this episode?
For me, I will admit, I watched the first time I was on this, we reviewed like episode 5. And I was able to binge all up to 5.
Okay, nice.
And I hadn't been able to I hadn't watched it since.
Okay, that's fine.
And I didn't have time, so I jumped to 10. So I don't know the crew's camaraderie in the last 4 episodes, but I love the fact that they all came together.
Yeah.
Like we're all, especially like the second half where they're all like, we're all going to save these two.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that's one of the things I liked about this as well. And by the way, you don't have to see all the other episodes to watch this one because Executive Networks felt the same way. They mixed them all up and put them in either order.
Right.
Yeah, so I just wasn't sure if they had developed some like
Not
closeness
really.
in the other episodes. So
I mean, I feel
it was just new to me, but
Yeah.
I really sensed the crew's like camaraderie and like
Uh-huh.
we're all in this together a lot in this episode. So
Gotcha. Were you watching on DVD, Hafner, or did you watch it somewhere else?
Hulu.
Okay, so I watched on Tubi, which is essentially the same as Hulu, for as far as Firefly is concerned, and they gave sort of a recap that I thought
did
a
they?
good job.
My DVDs didn't give a recap.
What? Why wouldn't they do that? What's wrong with them?
Yeah.
No, so this gave a good recap that I think hit on all the major points.
Yeah.
I don't think you really missed too much.
You didn't miss anything, but for me, this was the most action, like as far as like shooting up and coming together. Yeah, and Bentley agrees.
Yes, of course. Well, I'm glad Bentley agrees. So what did you like, Daryl? I think you set up
the camaraderie, just the way they all
okay
together to rescue the captain, and
yes,
I'm gonna forget the character's
Mal.
Wash.
Wash, yeah, the pilot,
Right.
yeah.
So just the way they're all like, we're going in together because we know the captain would do it for us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for me, I loved. There's a lot that I really liked about. I mean, I think both of you touched on really great points. I think I like how I like seeing Wash's and Zoe's marriage. I think because there are times where there is hardship and there's frustration, there's squabbles. So I'm glad that they had that, and they also were they found understanding and they were able to resolve the issues they were going through. So that was just nice to see. And I thought it was fun how Mel was like, your husband says we need to get together. And that was just really funny.
I thought it was fun, but I thought that was a little too forced.
Okay. I think it was trying to be forced. He wasn't being serious.
Yeah, but it was a little too much. But anyway, I don't know how it could have been done.
It was a little too rough. I got you.
Yeah,
okay, Paul.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, what was even too much for you, Paul? So much so that you disliked it.
I like the character of Wash, but when he basically sabotaged the shuttle so that only he could go, I thought it was very, what I feel is beneath his character. I was like, you don't need to go that far. Try to think of some other clever way to get him there instead of Zoe or something. I just thought it was, yeah.
That's fair. How about you, Daryl? What did you not like about this episode?
I actually really liked this episode, so I kind of had to reach a bit.
That's fine.
But for me, I kind of wish we saw what happened to, I'll say, the
Niska?
main bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I couldn't actually kill him or whatever the captain
Or
said
show
at
him
the
going
end.
away in the escape pod. So like that threat is still out there.
Yes.
The threat's still out there, or like we captured him and sent him to the proper authorities or something. It's just like, all right, we rescued the captain. We saw the one guy die. What happened to our main bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been nice to have some resolution there. I kind of get having it sort of open. I think it still has this looming danger element to it. Sure. But there is also almost an aspect of feeling like he was killed somehow.
You don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying I had forgotten that you don't know that. Like I thought he did die in this.
Maybe.
Anyway, the thing I didn't like about this is they established Kaylee and River playing at the beginning and stuff, and then at the end when I don't fault Kaylee for not being able to shoot and just being overcome with fear, because that's the first time she's in that situation. But then when River is like saves her essentially, and then she doesn't want to like hang out with River anymore. It's like, I feel like that's the time you lean into that friendship and being like, hey, I noticed you doing this. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but are you okay? Or I mean, just instead of avoiding, and I feel like that's just driving a wedge between you, and then that could lead to worse things.
That's another thing that I felt was too forced.
Yeah.
That strong of a reaction towards her. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing I didn't like. But would we... Actually, let's go real quick. What character did you gravitate to the most in this episode before we get to whether or not we'd continue watching based on this episode? Daryl, what character did you like the most or did you feel the most connected to in this episode?
I think, as odd as it sounds, I actually liked Shepard.
Yes!
The way he just stepped up and is like...
Kind of fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps.
Yeah, exactly. And just like cheesy things like that, or just like, I need you to hold these grounds, and he takes those shots and he's like, understood. Like, I got this.
Yes.
So I just thought his character, there was like, like I said, I've missed 4 episodes, but I just liked the character development, at least in this episode, where he's just like, I don't like it, but this is what needs to be done, and let's do it.
He's stepping up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Awesome. Paul, what character did you gravitate to the most?
Gotta go with my man Wash.
What? Not Niska? I could have sworn it would have been Niska here.
Yeah, right. No, I enjoyed finally we get more Wash after 9 episodes. The 10th episode, I was like, oh wow, finally.
Yeah, no, I appreciated his he seemed to like have a new appreciation for his wife and everything.
Now that didn't feel forced as far as the story was concerned.
No,
that was a nice
natural
arc.
Yes.
He's just like, this is what you guys deal with? Okay, I get it. I don't want to do this again.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just fly the ship. For me, the character that I gravitated to the most, I think it's almost a toss up between Wash and Mal.
Mal was my second.
Yeah, I'll probably say, Book was good too.
I felt a lot of the characters. This was a good ensemble episode. Yeah.
I laughed. I heartily laughed for a substantial amount of time after that moment where I forget who's asking Simon, how did you feel about this first time in a gunfight? How does that make you feel? It's like, man. I mean, I've never really shot anyone before. And Book says, I won't worry about it, son. I'm pretty sure you haven't shot anyone yet. I'm like, that was so funny to me. And burn! Yeah, exactly.
I still don't think you have, man. You're good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Nathan.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I looked away for half a second, and all of a sudden you look back, I'm like, oh God.
Yeah,
it's all it takes.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'll go with, just for sake of being different, I'll go with Mal. I really appreciate him and how he's able to just keep Wash going and all that. That was really cool. Okay, guys. So based on this episode, would we continue watching Firefly into the future, or would this be like, no, I'm done with this series? Let's start with me. I would definitely keep watching because I love Firefly, and this was a great episode. So, Paul, how about you?
This was one of my favorite episodes, maybe my favorite episode.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
I'd continue watching, at least so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like like you said, the camaraderie. Everybody's playing a part, and it had a lot of action in it.
Yeah,
this was a good episode.
Yes. Daryl, how about you?
So, based solely on this one, I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I reviewed, I pretty sure I said, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
So based on like the first 4 or 5 episodes, whatever it was, but if more of them were like this, I would definitely be watching a lot more.
I agree. I wish more of them were like this.
Yeah. So if you're, I forget if you liked the last one, Paul, Ariel, very much, but the next one, where they go to the Alliance Hospital, it's a heist.
Oh yeah, but I felt I did. Yeah, it's a heist one, so it's fine.
The next episode, Trash, is also a heist one. So if you like that style, there you go. But okay, guys. Well then, awesome. Thank you for your thoughts on Firefly, and we'll continue this, I believe, next episode. We're going to be doing now through the end of the year. We're going to be doing each episode having Firefly. Paul, is that right, or am I misremembering?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well,
strap in.
Until next time, stay shiny.
Don't let the space bugs bite.
All right, I think you're supposed to say good night.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. Edit, cut, insert here. And good night.
Don't let the space bugs bite.
Boom! That's how it's done. All right, guys. You're welcome to get. You need to go to the restroom, get water, or anything like that, and then we'll come back for spiritual speculation.
There is no bathroom.
Hold on.
There is no bathroom.
I heard it the
Who
first
is your
time,
daddy?
Paul.
Well, I haven't been
what
able
does
to
he
hear my
do?
sound effects for a while. So
Oh.
there was a loose connection. I was just. All right, I think we're good now.
Now we're going to do something extremely fun.
Yeah, we're good.
That's good. I'm glad, Paul. All right, so no one needs to do anything, go anywhere? I'm going to get up and stretch real quick, so hold on.
Oh, then I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, then you do that.
All right, everyone.
I'll be right back, okay?
Keep them entertained, Daryl.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. So how was everybody else's day? I had a lazy day today. I had a day off of work. Got some stuff done around the house, and then I was in a talent show where I
return.
did not make
Hey,
the finals,
Steph.
but it was
I've
fun.
watched the movie, so literally, if I watch the series, I'll be moving backward. Well, it's worth it. It's worth it because it's a good series, in my opinion. Neko says it's better than Treasure Planet. High story. I haven't never seen Treasure Planet. It's on the list of nominated movies. So if you want to hear us cover it, vote it up. RetroRewindPodcast.com/vote. Lazy, very similar to mine. Lazy.
I was just asking them about their days because Paul walked
Oh.
right through. He's like, Daryl, entertain them for a while. So I'm like,
Oh,
I had a lazy day, did some stuff around the house. How was everybody else's day?
nice. Okay. Next says, does anyone else get Cowboy Bebop vibes? Yes, of course. Yeah, there's definitely Cowboy Bebop vibes. I've heard that comparison before, Neko. Excuse me. I meant Atlantis. Cowboy Bebop vibes to Atlantis? I've never heard that.
Oh, no, not Treasure Planet.
Oh. Now I'm all lost, Neko. Redo the whole thing with the right movie, because I'm lost. Help me. Help you, help me.
I'm so confused.
I am confused. I am capital C confused. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Here, I'll say this to you guys.
Take that, flip it.
You are awesome. You guys are awesome.
I'm looking at Bobo. Take that, flip it, reverse it.
Exactly, Baba. Exactly. Where's that? What movie is that from?
Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, that's right. The first one with Gene Wilder, right?
Yeah. Stop.
Surprised that's not on the list.
Have you guys not done that yet?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's on. I'm seriously trying to have movies where I'm like, did we cover that? I thought we covered that. Like,
yeah, I've been showing like my one coworker, Mike.
Uh-huh.
Like we had 2 new hires in the last 2 weeks, and I was.
Oh wow.
And one of the guys had actually listened to like 2 of the episodes I was on. He listened to
Oh,
Sandlot
cool. And the rookie?
Homeward Bound.
Oh, okay, nice. Yes.
So he listened to those, and like he was going through the list of movies, like I liked that one, and he just like I think he was giving you crap because it's like he listened to like Homeward Bound where you like rated it tragic, and then it's like one of the other Disney movies, and I'm just like you've got to get him in a movie that's not Disney, and then I think I like him a little better. He's like, I'm liking Paul, but like me and Francisco seem to have very different tastes in movies.
That's true, and that's okay. We can have different tastes. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I taste funny.
I'm just like, pick some of these other movies you're talking about. I think Francisco will match your opinions a little bit.
Yes, do our like any of our Indiana Jones episodes.
Yeah.
Do those, or our Matrix episodes maybe. But
yeah, no, I was trying to get him to both watch today, but the one guy was at a wedding. But then Mike.
Oh, okay.
But Mike,
well, that's cool.
Stopped by for a little bit.
Was that the critic guy?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's nice to have him here. Yeah. Again, he tunes in for a Disney one. Jeez.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. But.
Oh, that's a different guy. Okay.
Hey,
Gotcha.
someone finally requested Willy Wonka.
Thank you, Bobo. Yeah, what a hater. I am a hater, and I'm proud to be one. Because someone needs to hold that line. Who's going to do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg, you need me on that wall. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. That's right.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Have you guys reviewed that one? A Few Good Men?
Yes, we have. We have reviewed that one. I do remember that. All right, guys. Thumbs up if you're ready for spiritual speculation.
There it is. Gotta find the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. All right, we'll go ahead and start in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Wait for it.
What? Welcome, Reflex Capacitors, to another spiritual speculation where we take a look at the spiritual themes that the movies we cover on the podcast prompt us to think about. Tonight, we're going to be discussing the spiritual themes or questions that the movie Atlantis, The Lost Empire prompted us to think about. I sort of set that up already. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. Anyway, if you want to listen to that review, go back to retrorewindpodcast.com/261. But you don't have to listen to the review to get anything out of this. Hopefully you get even just more out of this conversation. But before we get into the speculating, let's go around real quick and say who we are, what our spiritual beliefs were growing up, and what we currently believe today. So my name is Francisco. I was raised as a Presbyterian, which is a Protestant Christian denomination, and I'm currently a non-denominational Protestant Christian. Let's go to Gerald next.
I grew up Pentecostal and actually still am. So.
Very cool. And Paul.
I grew up a man of science, and it was all about, whatever is fact. And then I went on this but whatever, and found Atlantis. And the people there led me to Jesus, and I've been a follower ever since.
That's amazing. I would think that.
They know because, they were around before Jesus was around. I don't know how they knew him, but they heard about him.
Yeah, especially given, let's go ahead and start off the conversation tonight. Because I sort of got the sense that because they could speak all the languages, this was like almost a Tower of Babel analogy. Like Atlantis was the Tower of Babel, and then it was destroyed by God.
Oh, there's a parallel there.
Actually, Milo mentions specifically the Tower of Babel.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. That's right. He does. So I'm wondering if what you guys make of that. Do you first off, let's set as sort of a baseline. Do you think that Atlantis actually existed? Like there was an actual Atlantis, whether or not they were more technologically advanced or anything like that. Let's not worry about that. Just was there an actual Atlantis, an island in the middle of the ocean, civilization that got destroyed?
I very well think there could have been.
I think it's plausible, but I don't think they had like technology more advanced. No. I think like it was just like the Romans or the Greeks, whatever they were. But the waters rose up, kind of like Pompeii, where the volcano rose up and destroyed it. But this was destroyed by water.
Okay.
Yes,
Maybe it was kind of like Florida. It was built a little bit below sea level, and it was a matter of time.
Praying for all you who are in the path of Hurricane Ian. Mike, do you think that, second question related to that, do you think that the flood narrative in the Bible, and there's lots of flood narratives in other civilizations,
yes,
do you think that was connected to what happened to Atlantis, or they're not necessarily the same?
Actually, that's not a bad, if we're under the pretext that it did exist, that would not be a bad theory on what happened to it. Because
but the whole world went under. Why focus on Atlantis? So I think it wasn't affected by the flood.
So Paul, you think there's a literal flood that engulfed the whole world, like the whole actual planet?
In Noah's days? Yes.
Yeah, in Noah's days. Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. I tend to think that it was just the known world of the Israelites, like essentially the Mediterranean over flooded, and like all of the Middle East and some of Europe. All of that essentially flooded.
Because, like you said, there are flood stories in every culture around the world, like even China and stuff. So,
I didn't know it that far. Okay.
So it all talks about how a family was saved in a boat. I mean, it all. So, I think, and plus the scientists, when they dig under, they think this is how the dinosaurs were destroyed, how a meteorite came down and it landed in the ocean, and then like a whole bunch of water engulfed the earth because there's that layer of rock that's been like wet, or I don't know how they figured that out. Science.
Yeah.
But that again, I think proves that there was a time where the whole world was under the water.
Yeah, I think they can actually do that with Grand Canyon, like one of the layers or whatever, like in the Grand Canyon where it's opened up. They can test it and be like, yeah, there was like a bunch of water or like a whole bunch of stuff died out like here.
Okay, interesting.
Like one of the other theories I had heard, because Paul brought up dinosaurs, is it wasn't so much the like meteor or volcano. One of the other things I've heard is like before the flood, like all the water was like in the atmosphere, and it was like an extra layer of protection from the sun. Like there hadn't been rain before the flood.
That's what the Bible says.
That's why it was such a far-fetched concept for the people.
Right.
But they seem to understand what rain was. So I don't
know. It hasn't rained before then.
No.
In fact, that's why in the Old Testament, that's one of the reasons why they think that they refer to the sun as the brighter sun and the moon as the lesser light, or there's like a main light and a lesser light. We know them as the sun and the moon now, but that layer of water kind of like blocked their view of it, a better view.
Yeah, so it blocked their view, and like one of the theories is like the atmosphere, because of like the water no longer being in the clouds, whatever.
Yeah.
When the dinosaurs that were on the ark came off, they could no longer handle this new like atmosphere.
Yeah, because it was all dried.
Yeah, it was
comparatively.
Comparatively.
But that's also a reason why man doesn't live like hundreds of years.
Right, exactly. Like Noah and his sons were like the last to live like the 900 years or 600 years, whatever.
Yeah, Noah was 600 years old when the flood water came upon the earth.
So like yeah, so it's like we have more direct UVs, whatever, from the sun. Our bodies can't handle it because we don't have that extra layer of protection. So yeah, no, I kind of like that idea or that theory of if the whole world was completely covered in water,
right?
That could have been what happened to Atlantis.
And to add to it, they had never seen a rainbow before, and you need rain, like a mist, to see rainbow.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. Like, how have they not seen a rainbow before? Well, yeah.
Well, I don't think that that's necessarily the case. So I don't know. I've honestly, I've never heard this that there was no rain prior to the flood. So I definitely want to research that more. But let's say there was rain. There are things that God can use that exist prior that he says this now means this thing. It doesn't necessarily mean, like, let's say if you're just going to allow me that there was rain before, then there would be a rainbow. But it doesn't necessarily mean something until God says this is now a symbol of that I will never flood the earth again. So does that make sense?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So rainbows existed, but they didn't know, it didn't have any meaning.
Exactly. And then God said, this is what this means. But you guys could be right. There may have been no rain before. I have not done any study in that. So that's interesting. I had
Genesis 2:5-6 ESV says, when no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man. This is before he created man to work the ground. A mist was going up from the land and was watering the whole face of the ground. So that's one of the speculations that
it was more.
It had kept that way until the flood.
Okay, I mean, and That could very well be. I guess I get the
not.
sense that because that is still in the Garden of Eden before things went to crap, and so after that, I sort of assume that
they could have sinned and it all just went.
Exactly. Crap falling from the sky. What is this poop rain?
Ew.
Yes, I took it there.
Even if the other thing when Paul brought up the whole world being flooded, even if somehow Atlantis had survived the flood, whatever, then all these craters opening up, maybe that's what. Even if we'll say like the flood wiped the people, like they're just gone. One of these craters that opened up so that the Earth cannot flood again. Maybe that's what
like the Marianas Trench or something like that, essentially. Okay, maybe.
So deep down into one of these trenches that we just don't have the means to get to.
Yeah.
Or we just plain haven't found it.
Sure.
Is this city of Atlantis.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Yeah, let's circle it back to Atlantis. Thank you, Daryl. So, okay, so I'm getting the sense that it's possible Atlantis existed. That's what you're saying. Yeah, it's not like outside the realm of possibility. Like, oh no, there's no way. Okay. Yeah, I'd say it's possible too. I'm like with you, Paul. I doubt that they have this amazing crystal technology thing. I just don't buy it.
In fact, in the behind the scenes of it, they were researching all the different theories of Atlantis. Some were like scientific, and some were just like whacked out theories. They read one of the whacked out theories by one of these guys. That's like, oh, there's crystals powering it up. They're like, oh wow, that's cool. Let's do that.
Actually, C.S. Lewis even used Atlantis in The Magician's Nephew.
Oh, I don't remember that. I've read The Magician's Nephew, but only once. I remember Atlantis being a part of that.
It's just mentioned in
passing.
Kind of. So, Uncle Andrew has this box of dust. And he goes, "Do you know where this is from? It's from the lost island lost world or something of Atlantis." Yeah. Of men who understood magic and this and that. And he's like, so it's older than all the other Stone Age rubbish from da-da-da-da-da. And so he's like, this will get you to these other worlds, but it's actually a dust of another world, and it was found by Atlantis. Like, Atlanteans used to be able to get to these other worlds. That's where this dirt is from.
Okay.
It's kind of like Stargate Atlantis, the way they go to different worlds.
Yeah, and that's
exactly
like the dust gets the rings get them to the wood between the worlds.
Yeah. Okay, that does sound familiar now that you're bringing that up again. I think let's see. So that is sort of an opening. Tower of Babel seemed like Atlantis was a similar thing, that maybe they gained too much knowledge and so God flooded them with everything else, if it existed and all that. So, Paul, what's a spiritual speculation you have or a thought you had watching this movie?
A thought I had with it goes along with the dances with Avatar thing of wiping out indigenous people for their resources. But it reminded me of Romans 12:10. What does
when Paul wiped out indigenous Jews to make way for the Christians?
Exactly. Wow, how did you know that?
That's a joke, people.
Yeah, Francisco's full of them, or full of anyway.
Full of something. Yes, it's true.
It reminded me of the ESV, English Standard Version, says, love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing honor. And that is like the complete opposite of what Rourke is doing, like is not even considering the source of the life of the people. And so it's just a reminder that we as Christians should be showing love towards
But-
not only our brothers, but also loving our enemies as well. So that's,
Well, but I was going to say, is Paul talking about to the Church of Rome, talking about to the
oh, I'm sorry,
people in
Paul. Let's go that direction. Paul was just talking to the Romans at that time period. At that
No, that's
church.
not why. I mean that because sometimes Paul wrote to the churches because there was inner turmoil. So I'm just wondering if this is sort of an instruction to them to not be upset with one another inside the church, but to love one another as with brotherly love.
You're asking the wrong Paul.
What? Dang it! Wait, weren't you on the road to Damascus? I'm so confused.
No, I still have glasses. I can see.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, that is a different Paul. Never
In
mind.
fact, I just noticed we all have glasses.
We're all blind. Oh no.
We're all Milos. Okay, so
it's just a matter of it just reminded me of we should be loving each other.
So do you think it's a matter of that people going back to I believe it's Jesus that said money is the root of all kinds of evil.
Yes.
Do you think that's why the sort of the desire for greed and more things for yourself or your tribe, that's what trumps that brotherly love so often that it causes this issue where
it was actually 1 Timothy 6.
Dang it!
So again,
so Paul also,
says,
okay,
wrong
my
Paul,
bad.
But
I'm sorry, Jesus. I didn't mean to attribute that to you.
Anyway. But what's the question? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's all greed. Well, he definitely has a greed problem, So.
Yeah. Yes. What do you think, Daryl?
But Jesus did say no one can serve two masters. He will either hate one and love the other. So it's kind of like he says, Jesus said you cannot serve God and money.
Yes. Okay, so that's in the ballpark.
I know Jesus said it somewhere.
Just twist the words a little bit. It's in there. It's in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The message paraphrase. Jesus said it. All right, go ahead, Gerald. What were your thoughts on that? Or
no, I agree with what Paul's saying there. I mean, it's just.
Well, yes, it's in the Bible. You should agree with it. But what about what Paul is saying?
Which Paul?
I know. I know what you mean. I'm being silly. So you agree with Paul's saying that, that we should care more about our brothers as opposed to the stuff that they have or the land that they're on or anything like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Because we're the only things that are going to survive into eternity. All this stuff and things are going to not.
That goes along with coveting, right?
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Too. What's the difference? I know the difference between envy and jealousy. What's the difference between covetousness and envy? Do either of you know off the top of your head?
Envy is like you wish, like I wish I could play Michael Jordan's basketball. Like I wish I could be. I envy that. I wish I could do that. Whereas coveting is like I want his money and I am going to steal it, or I'll think about
Okay, so it's almost. Maybe it's like this.
Both are wants.
Yeah,
both want.
I want his skills. The other is I want his things.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So envy is more about desiring the characteristics of another person, but I can also
unhealthy level.
Yeah,
I
feel there's probably overlap. There's overlap, but okay,
exactly.
Okay. But thank you guys. That helps. I think a basic breakdown, like you said, stuff versus characteristics, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greed. Covers both.
Oh my gosh.
Greed covers a multitude of sins.
No, greed amplifies a multitude of sins.
But it also,
Oh, not like covers over, but it covers the topic of it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Wow. Gerald, did you have any thoughts or questions that came to you while watching this?
Not while I was watching it because I forgot about the speculation, but just thinking about it now, and it's kind of a loose, like analogy.
Yeah.
But kind of like the crew. So like we'll say Milo in my example is a Christian and like he's just like super excited and really into it. and the crew is the wolf in sheep's clothing. Like they have,
Oh yeah, I can see that.
they appear to be friendly and matching his enthusiasm for the right reasons. And then once like they find the power source, or not find the power source, but their true colors are revealed. Obviously now they know, but then the crew, in my example, gets saved. Like they see the light. And they turn to Milo's side, or they find like, wow, we were wrong. You are in the right.
They repent. Yeah.
They repent, and then there's always that. Unfortunately, the reality is not everybody can be saved.
Yeah.
And that's the.
It's amazing how all those people went through the narrow door, and only one person went through the wide.
I think that's how it works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a small pool. That's why there's a small subject pool. And
all the henchmen that died earlier would have went with the.
Exactly.
They were
and lots of people that that were there to fly on planes. They were all about the money too. So
about Helga's about the only one. It's like, was she saved? Like at the end there, where she's like betrayed, or was she still unsaved? But just
well, her and Mrs. Packard with the voice, I was kind of wondering. I guess she stayed behind because she was the one that's like, all right, can we go home now? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, just thinking about it as we were talking, and remembering like when you came in, or I came in, and you're like, so do you have a spiritual speculation? I started thinking, and it's just like,
yeah,
like to me, that's kind of like Milo was saved before, and then like most of the crew repents, and then not everybody is going to.
Not everybody's gonna take the cake, so to speak.
Yeah.
Take the cake.
Well, I can hear you typing, Francis.
I'm looking at a passage, Paul. Well, thanks for outing me there.
You're welcome. Just in case any listeners were wondering, like, what's that tapping noise?
It's me.
So that's what came to mind for me as we were talking and stuff. So.
Yeah. And you know what? Just as you were talking about how everyone sort of turned, Daryl, except for Rourke and Helga, and of course all the other no-name people. That got me wondering, though, because I was thinking, well, yeah, of course, the demonic or the bad guys, so to speak, but demons in the spiritual sense aren't going to win, because aren't they always like vying for each other's jobs? But I think that's almost like a popular culture conception, because
dog eat dog world,
yeah, because in let's see, I want to do NASB, thank you. No, you're giving me the wrong version. Do it right. NASB, because I'm in America.
National
in Luke
Association
11,
Boys. Sorry.
Luke 11, Paul.
Luke 11, the whole dang chapter.
No, I'm gonna read the whole chapter. Buckle up. No, let me see if I can find it again. I lost it. 11:4. Okay, so Jesus is casting out demons. New American Standard. I'm reading. I'm starting in verse 14.
Okay.
Again, Luke 11.
Pharisees
and he was
blasphemy.
Yeah, and he was casting out demons, he being Jesus. And it was mute when the demon had gone out. The mute man spoke, and the crowds were amazed. But some of them said, he cast out demons by Beelzebub, which is another name for Satan, the ruler of the demons. Others, to test him, testing Jesus, were demanding of him a sign from heaven. But he knew their thoughts and said to them, any kingdom divided against itself is laid waste, and a house divided against itself falls. If Satan also is divided against himself, how will his kingdom stand? For you say that I cast out demons by Beelzebub, and if by Beelzebub cast out demons, by whom do your sons cast them out? So they will be your judges. But if I cast out demons by the finger of God, then the kingdom of God has come upon you. So I'm not going to keep reading, but that's about where I'm trying to. What I'm trying to say is that, I don't know. Is that something that's sort of in your mind as, like in Satan, like the minions of hell are like always like at each other's throats, essentially trying to be top dog sort of type thing, or no? That's not something that's in your sort of.
I mean, I know they've got rankings and there's like higher demons and stuff, but I guess I've never thought about them
quarreling with
trying to get your job and your
yeah.
Because like you were talking, just reading that scripture, I didn't think Beelzebub was another name for Satan. I thought.
Oh, I thought it was.
It's debatable. It might be, but it might not be.
It might not be. My interpretation of it was like Beelzebub was like just a high. What does it say?
High-ranking demon.
High-ranking demon.
Yeah, ruler
or whatever.
of the demons.
So I just figure he's like one of Satan's generals, or however you want to.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, that could very well be. Something else I haven't done say. I haven't done say on Atlantis and the flood and rain. All these subjects. I'm like,
podcast was coming up. Why did you not?
I know
study all this stuff.
Right? I should have gone to get my MDiv and before I did this podcast. What was I thinking?
Different translations actually are confused about it because it doesn't really say. Like New International Version calls Beelzebub the Prince of Demons, and then the New Living Translation says that he gets his power from Satan, the Prince of Demons.
Oh, interesting. Weird. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
In the end, it don't really matter. They all lose.
Yeah.
They all fall down in the end.
So I was just thinking, it was for me, and I wonder if that conception actually comes from maybe through the cultural zeitgeist via Screwtape Letters, because there's the chief demon or the head demon Wormwood. Is that Wormwood or Screwtape?
No,
I think Screwtape's the main one.
The higher ranking.
Yeah, and then by then Wormwood doesn't do his job. Spoilers for Screwtape Letters. Wormwood is going to be consumed by Screwtape because they're always like trying to. Because Wormwood would want to ascend to Screwtape's job. They like talk about that. So I wonder if that's probably just Lewis's application. And I feel like that's bled in, because that's a very popular novel, bled into other areas. Yeah. But I don't think that's a biblical take.
Yeah, it might not be, but it's still fun. Not fun, but it's a realist.
It's interesting.
It fits our mindsets, which is probably why.
Plus, Satan was trying to ascend past God, so it makes sense that anyone that went with Satan would want sort of the same type of thing, where they'd want to be thought of as higher than humans, say, or
even higher than Lucifer.
Exactly.
One of them trying to surpass Satan.
So, all right, guys, cool. The only other thing is that I was contemplating going into was reading from Job, the whole sequence where it talks about Leviathan. But I think I'm gonna forego that. It's in I believe it was Job 41. I want to say. So it's just like a long diatribe of like, can you do this to Leviathan? Can you put a hook in his nose? Can you pierce his scales? It's just like a long list. So essentially, I was going to read all that, but since we've gotten to other good conversation, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's not only in Job; it's also in Psalm and Isaiah. It's in several places.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, guys, about creatures like I've heard them labeled as chaos creatures, but creatures that God uses, massive creatures
like Osama bin Laden.
Wow, not humans, creatures, Paul. They
are created by God. They are creatures.
Non-image bearing creatures. Is that better?
Yeah, Osama bin Laden.
Wow. He was an image bearer too, Paul.
Was he?
We're not covering frailty, Paul, okay?
Was he really?
I believe he was. Anyway, let's say, okay, let's there's a Hurricane Ian's happening right now in Florida and the East Coast.
So Ian is an image bearer of God.
Let me finish, Paul.
Okay, sorry.
Glasses are coming off. Get serious.
I just thought the bite meter was raising.
How'd you guys talk about with people that are probably non-believers or even believers when they're saying how I don't understand how God can like allow things like hurricanes or leviathans back, let's say in the seafaring days. I imagine that was more in people's minds over hurricanes, but let's say hurricanes for now since we're more of the modern era, even though I believe Leviathan probably still exists. But how do you guys talk with believers or non-believers that are just like feel like I don't understand why God allows bad things to happen? I know that's a classic example, but why things like mega things like hurricanes? Like maybe you could say, well, people are sinners, like Hitler, Osama bin Laden. People are fallen, and so they commit horrible things against their brothers. They take indigenous people's lands, bring it back to Atlantis. But then why does God use things like hurricanes or is that, did you say, well, that's just because the world's fallen? But then he controls Leviathans, so
yeah, like that's an easy answer.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, the world is fallen. That's the easy thing. But like sometimes I like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to get people's attention.
Oh, yeah.
How do I get
true.
people to, for lack of a better term, come looking for me?
I thought you meant people were making that up, and it's
no. It's just it's like God trying to get our attention.
Yeah.
Like
look, I've been nice, and that hasn't been working, so I gotta get mean.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same idea of like I've been listening to. I have the audiobooks of Left Behind, and it's like as odd as it sounds, these 7 years of torment are God's last attempt to get your attention.
Yeah.
And there was an episode of Criminal Minds, I think it was. No, I know it was Criminal Minds, where one of the characters comes in and he's talking to this girl who's sitting in a church, and she's like feeling really guilty about something.
Having a criminal mind.
No. They in that episode, her and a bunch of her friends stumbled upon a hiker who just happened to he tripped, hit his head, and passed away, and they just watched him deteriorate.
Oh.
And she was feeling super guilty, and she's like, God is punishing us because we didn't do anything.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
She's like,
okay.
Do you believe in God? And the main character brings up, I think it was Katrina or something like that. He brings up one of these major hurricanes, and he's like, some people believe that was God punishing New Orleans or whoever.
Pat Robertson came out and said that specifically.
So it's like, some people believe that God was punishing New Orleans for its sinful ways.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, but here's the thing. That storm, if it had come in on this other angle, could have killed thousands more. So other people believe it also it was a sign of God's mercy, because if he wanted it to, it could have wiped, we'll say, all of New Orleans if it had come in this way or broken these levees. And yes, these things happened, but it could have been so much worse. So maybe like something like that, I would say, one, it's God. One, the world is fallen. It is.
Yeah.
As cliche an answer as that is, it's truth.
Yeah.
And it could just be something like a hurricane. How many people are heading to the churches right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, right now it might be a foxhole faith, but who knows? Maybe, Lord willing, it becomes a genuine thing.
And I'll go personal with this, guys, because and so this doesn't have to be like a believer non-believer thing. I'm a believer. I've been a believer pretty much my whole life. But recently I had this pain in my left side, my left sort of lower
like
side.
Paul.
Yeah, thorn in my flesh, Paul. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just like Paul, now I'm not going to tell you about it. Ha! No, just kidding. So no, this pain in my lower left side of my abdomen, of my abdomen, right above my hip, around my hip bone. And it's there for a couple months now. I didn't know what it was. I'd gone to urgent care for something else, had them look at it. They didn't know what it was. They said if it persists, come back. And so I go back a couple months later because I'm just like, all this time I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want to be colon cancer. Because he said that's where like the lower colon is there in that spot and something else. I forget what the other thing was. But I'm like, I really don't want to have colon cancer or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm dreading this thing. And then I got to this point where I was like, you know what, God? My body is yours. I don't own this body. It is not mine. You're allowing me to steward it and to partner with you in maintaining it, but it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. So all this fear I have over it or over this possible deterioration I'm just going to give that to you. I trust you with the body. If you want me to end up having cancer, I trust you that your ways are higher than my ways. And that brought me so much peace in doing that. For those that are curious, went to the doctor. He did some tests. For everything he could see, it's actually an issue with my psoas muscle, which if you want to look it up, it's spelled PSOSA, not SOSA, which is ridiculous. What's with these P's in front of words? Pterodactyl? No, thank you.
You got to see a psychiatrist.
Exactly. Anyway, so, and that's just a muscle that's sort of deep in, but all the pains, and now that I've been like looking at like ways to help that muscle, but everything it's attached to, the pains I'm getting, totally makes sense that is the issue. And given my like posture and ergonomics at my homework, makes sense that would have tying up like it did. Anyway, so praise God, from all indications, I'm fine. But that's something that was, because I think I had gotten sort of complacent thinking, no, I'm taking care of me. This is my body. And God needed me to surrender that to him and to wake me up, so to speak. So there's my long story.
I was wondering how this was all related to natural disasters.
Yes. I said I was making it personal. Call. Yeah, a wake-up call, exactly. And that's why I'm saying it can be for Christians and non-Christians. Yeah. But God can use lots of things to get us, to draw us closer to him in ways that he needs us to be. So anyway, so awesome. Thank you for...
Here's a couple verses to back that up. In Deuteronomy 31:17, this is God speaking. It says, "And in that day I will become angry with them and forsake them. I will hide my face from them, and they will be destroyed. Many disasters and calamities will come upon them. And in that day they will ask, have not these disasters come on us because our God is not with us, or God is no longer among us?" Basically, we strayed these calamities. That's way back in Deuteronomy. And so, and going back to what you were saying about the flood, I mean, that's God using natural disasters because he's tired of people. So I'm not saying that God is, sent Hurricane Katrina. I'm just saying there's biblical evidence that it's been done before.
Yeah.
And actually, now that you say that, isn't the rainbow the promise that the Lord won't flood the entire world again?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not
so that's
floods,
another evidence that it was the whole world that was flooded, not just Israel.
Right.
Yeah, but the whole known world at that time, that's where I get stuck, is that I feel like, and if we're bringing this modern conception of a whole globe to that part of scripture when the people writing it,
they're like, oh, he said, the whole world. Oh, that's the only whole world they knew. But he meant the whole world.
And that's possible. I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying that's bringing a modern conception of the world to ancient scripture. So
either way, he flooded the whole world, whether it was the known world or the unknown world. It was all flooded.
So here's
God's words, not mine.
Let's end with this little silly thing. Do you suppose that Jonah, when God said, "Go and tell Nineveh that they have sinned and they need to repent,"
yes,
where he would have gone instead would have ended up being Atlantis, and then he would have told them to repent. But since he ended up going back to Nineveh because they tossed him over, he ended up in the belly of the whale. that he
Are you
didn't push
saying-
it to Atlantis,
Not
and
where
so
I thought
Atlantis
you were
died.
going with that.
Wait, what are you asking? Are you making up
It's-
fairy tales related to the Bible? Like, oh, he should have went to Atlantis instead of Nineveh?
I'm just saying it's suspicious. He's
No, I
trying to
thought
get away from Nineveh, and what's further away than Nineveh than Atlantis? So not that he meant to.
I
Maybe
thought you were gonna ask like.
in
do you
his
think
mind
that
he was
would-
trying to get to Atlantis. What?
No, I thought you were gonna ask like, do you think it was a creature like what they battled that actually swallowed Jonah and not
Oh no, I wasn't going
like
there.
a
No,
whale like we have in
All right.
our heads today?
Jonah went the opposite direction of Nineveh to Tarshish, not Atlantis. So I don't
That's-
know where you're.
Well, yeah, but they may have gotten mixed up, and so if he had kept
they-
going,
the word of God would mistaken. He meant Atlantis, which is actually translated Tarshish, which is landlocked. Okay, not landlocked, but it's like it's not an island. It's a part of the land.
and Atlantis was landlocked too until it fell into the ocean. Yeah,
Yeah, everything's landlocked until the ocean swallows it.
exactly.
Until the great flood comes.
I said it was silly. And that was my
That
preamble.
sounds a bit on the blasphemous side,
Oh
if you ask
my
me.
gosh! Fine.
I thought you were going to say, oh, if Jonah had gone to Atlantis, maybe they wouldn't have been destroyed.
Yeah, but instead he ended up at
Not
Nineveh.
instead. There's no instead. There's just like, could have the same thing happened? Sure, why not?
I don't. Yeah, but I guess it depends on when Atlantis conceivably existed and whatnot. But anyway,
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Well, sometimes it's okay to be silly, Paul.
Oh, I know. Like I was reading online, one of the questions, this is a whole webpage dedicated, does God allow natural disasters? Like he's up there trying to prevent them and can't. Oh no. I don't allow it. Why are all these things happening? That's
It
just
seems like
ridiculous.
that's an obvious yes. He allows them to
Dang it.
happen.
It's like dominoes. Dang it! Stop it!
I can't. Oh my gosh, Paul. I'll talk to you offline. But anyway, thank you all, patrons. Well, any last thoughts, Paul or Daryl, before we bid adieu?
Now we're bidding on the dudes.
Bid adieu. I was trying to be Francais
We
to all my Cajun friends.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to be like Moliere or the bomb guy. Okay.
Just like that's not how we sound.
I'm going to put my shop. It's going to be on vacation during August.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Anyway, okay. Thank you so much, Reflex the Pastors, for funding this content, for supporting the show. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. By the time you're listening to this, you're probably like, finally, Francisco's released the floodgates of bonus content. Jeez, what's been going on? Because I'm very behind right at this point. But if you're listening to this now,
It means
then
it's been released
it's been released and I'm caught up. So enjoy.
for now.
Yes, but let us know your thoughts, anything that came to mind listening to this. Appreciate you all. But for me, for Gerald, for Paul, we bid you all shalom.
Oh, that means peace.
It does. All right, and thank you everyone watching in stream. Bobo, Ashley, I think Aneko left to go eat cake. Gerald, oh, you're here too. Thanks for being here, Gerald. And Paul, wow. Dale, if you're still here. Stacy, if you're still here. Thank you all for hanging out. Hopefully there will be no streams the rest of the week because I'm in Colorado. That's why my background's different. And I had so little sleep last night. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. And there isn't really a way for me to stream games through Ashley's PC, which is what I'm using now. So no streams, but we'll be back to our normal stream schedule starting next week when we're...
You lack discipline.
Not Ghostbusters 2, right? We have a week in between.
Yeah, usually it's every other week, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're going to be
some-
stacking up here soon.
Yeah, hold on. If you want to hold on. If you don't have to hold on if you don't want to.
Well, I'm going to end the stream.
All right. Holding on.
Okay.
We're recording Ghostbusters 2 next episode on October 7th. So yeah, it's a week from today.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Gotta get on it because for whatever. And is it boom, boom, boom like 14th?
No, then there's a space, and then there's Power Rangers.
Okay, that's
and then
that's
there's
right.
a space, and then it goes back to every other week.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah. Good night, Bobo. Thank you all, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye bye. It does mean peace. Shalom.